A single no at the wrong moment can redraw a family map. Prince George turned 12, the cake was ready, the photographs were set, and one small request, a picture with Orla, the black cocker spaniel who has padded through his childhood, should have been the easiest yes of the day. Instead, according to palace whispers and household recollections, it was refused. What followed was not a scene, not a scandal, but something quieter and far more consequential, a boundary drawn by the Prince and Princess of Wales, and a glimpse of the fault line running beneath the modern House of Windsor. The plan for George's birthday was deliberately simple. Anmer Hall, not a ballroom, family games on the lawn, not a parade of dignitaries, a photograph that felt like a boy rather than an heir. Kensington later released a picture that did exactly that, relaxed, confident, the future visible but not heavy. But those who were there say the day carried an undertone that no official caption could hide. The tension that has grown for months over schooling, over symbolism, over who decides the texture of the children's lives, came to the surface the moment Orla was quietly led away. No papers changed hands. No decree was read. It was the kind of instruction that travels by nod, "We'll go on without the dog." Some present thought they heard it as a preference, others understood it as a decision. Either way, the effect was the same. George waited for his companion. She did not come. The pageant of family joy continued, candles, smiles, a lens polished for posterity, but a boy's face fell in real time. If you have ever watched a child mask disappointment because cameras are near, you know the look. Those who saw it say Catherine stepped toward the Queen with calm insistence. The request did not move. The photograph went ahead. And later, when the house grew quiet, the question that matters most was asked: why? The answer cannot be found in a single moment. It runs through years of calculation about education, image, and inheritance. On one side are Charles and Camilla, caretakers of continuity, convinced that the tools that shaped earlier generations still fit the present: full boarding, early independence, the steel that comes from distance. On the other are William and Catherine, who have built their family on proximity, school runs, home routines, a childhood that is guarded not by marble but by presence. Lamrock was their compromise, structured, excellent, but close, a ramp, not a catapult. Now the calendar is turning toward the age when royal children traditionally leave home. With it comes pressure, soft in tone, firm in expectation, to send George and then Charlotte to a system designed to produce sovereign composure. The Waleses are unconvinced. William remembers too much, not only his father's stories of Colditz in kilts, but the subtler loneliness that prestige schools cannot mark on a report card. He has spoken often of his mother's insistence on normal moments: the cinema, the fast food run, the unchoreographed afternoons that remind a child he belongs to a family before he belongs to an institution. Catherine has built a daily life around that idea. It is not sentiment, it is strategy. Their children's steadiness, she believes, is not accidental. It comes from the certainty that their parents are there. This is the context in which the dog matters, not because a birthday photograph requires a spaniel to be complete, but because the refusal carried a message. The setting matters more than the child's feeling. To those who love George, that was precisely the wrong lesson for a day meant to be his. And for those who have watched the palace language of images their entire lives, it touched another nerve. Pictures in royal houses are not decoration, they are policy in frames. Who appears, who is centered, who is absent, each choice trains the public's eye. You cannot raise a child to trust the family story if he learns, early, that the family's pictures prefer neatness to kindness. Sources close to the household say George found words later that were startling in their clarity. He has one grandmother, and her name is Diana. Whether those words were spoken exactly as reported, the sentiment is not hard to imagine. William and Catherine have never hidden Diana from their children. They have told them what they can, when they can, without turning memory into myth. The children know. They grasp, at least in outline, why adults sometimes freeze in old patterns, why rooms change temperature when certain names are spoken, why kindness in public can feel different in private. Children read atmospheres better than most courtiers. All of this would have remained a family bruise if not for the larger argument tightening around it: boarding school now or not yet. For Buckingham, tradition is a map that keeps you from driving into a ditch. For Kensington, Tradition is a map drawn before the road moved. There is sincerity on both sides. The king knows what it takes to endure scrutiny that does not end. The queen believes order is not cruelty but mercy. Trains run on time because someone insists they do. The Waleses believe the first duty is to grow whole people. Hardness can be added later. Wholeness cannot. The result has been a season of discussions, that most delicate of palace words. They begin as consultations and end as negotiations. Sometimes they feel like arbitration disguised as tea. School options are laid out, the prestige of the old names, the safety of the known corridors, the alumni who can be quietly called when storms come. Then come the alternatives: keep them nearer, choose weekly rather than full boarding, revisit the full move when the children are older, when the family is past a stretch of extraordinary change. The arguments are impersonal until they aren't. They remain cordial until a boy's birthday reveals what the debate is actually about, not policy, but trust. Observers inside speak carefully about Camilla. In public, she is an asset steady beside the king, effective for charities that rarely saw front-page attention, unflappable when storms blow. In private, say some, she can be severe about schedules and order, the guardian of formality, as one former courtier puts it. That instinct keeps the royal machine from drifting. It can also make rooms feel inhospitable to spontaneity, a carol cut short because timings slip, a toast declined because it wasn't on the card. Her defenders call it discipline. Her critics call it chill. Both may be true. Either way, it met the immovable object of a mother's face when a 12-year-old asked for his dog. It is tempting to cast the moment as a morality play: cold queen, weeping child, righteous parents. Real life is less pure. People carry old wounds into new rooms, they confuse tidiness for care, they mistake heritage for love. The point is not to vilify, but to notice what the Waleses noticed, that small acts reveal big priorities. A future king asked, on his day, to be seen as a boy. The answer taught him something. William and Catherine decided to teach him something else. Their response, as reconstructed by those who work closest to them, was not theatrical. There was no briefing, no sharp leak. There was a conversation, firm, private, and, crucially, specific. The message was simple: decisions that touch the children will be made with the children at the center. That means schooling pathways chosen for their readiness, not the calendars. That means photographs that reflect who they are, not only what the crown needs. That means birthdays organized for joy, not optics. It was not an ultimatum. It was a charter. In the weeks since, the palace information machine has done what it always does when feelings run high: flood the zone. A stream of positive engagements, soft focus moments, news of causes that cannot be criticized. Camilla smiling with shelter dogs. Charles at a trust he has supported for decades. Other branches of the family carrying cheerful diaries. It is good strategy. It works often. It works less well when the story you are managing lives in people's chests. You cannot drown a boy's tears with press releases, you can only avoid causing them next time. And the school question? It remains where most consequential royal decisions live, between what tradition demands and what this particular family can bear. There are scenarios in which George begins with weekly boarding, easing into full only when he is ready. There are scenarios in which the full leap is delayed a year, justified by unique circumstances that everyone can tactfully understand. There are scenarios in which Charlotte's path is treated differently because she is different, not in rank, but in temperament. It is possible, too, that none of this is announced, only observed, as the children appear in uniforms that reveal choices without making them a debate. What cannot be undone is the clarity gained. William has very little taste for palace games. He has less for palace edits. He will not pretend that a child's hurt is curatorial. He will not shrug when he recognizes the pattern that once erased his mother from rooms where her story belonged. He has learned that the surest way to protect the future is to guard the small present moments that children use to build their sense of home. Catherine, for her part, will continue to design those moments with the discipline of a professional and the instinct of a mother. If you wonder why her photographs resonate, it is because they carry an argument beneath their ease: the crown can be gentle. As for George, He will remember two things about 12. He will remember that someone told him no on a day that should have been all yeses. And he will remember that someone else, someone else's, changed the weather back. Years from now, he may not recall the cake's flavor or the title of the book he unwrapped. He will remember the dog he loves was in the picture, and that his parents decided the picture mattered because he did. None of this means the monarchy is cracking. It means it is becoming honest about the difference between stability and control. Stability is a tradition that flexes to keep human beings intact. Control is a tradition that asks human beings to fold themselves into shapes that look good in a frame. The former endures. The latter shatters at the first real emotion. There will be more birthdays, more photographs, more choices about schools and summer plans, and the 1,000 little decisions that, taken together, make a childhood. There will be more rooms where old hurts and new duties collide. There will be wins and missteps. There will be moments when Camilla's insistence on order is the right medicine, and others when Catherine's refusal to sacrifice tenderness to timing is the saving grace. If the family is wise, it will learn to read those moments faster. For now, the lesson is simple. A house that forgets children will be corrected by those who remember being one. A crown that prefers neat stories will be reminded that the nation loves its future in messy, loyal, dog-haired ways. And a boy turning 12 is not a symbol to be posed. He is a person to be protected. The camera clicks. The shutter opens and closes on a frame that looks, to the outsider, like a happy image for history. Inside it is a choice. The dog sits close. The boy's shoulders loosen. Somewhere beyond the shot, two parents meet eyes and know that this is how you win 1,000 quiet battles, not with statements, but with a picture that says the child came first.